Women, don't waste your 20s. Women, don't waste your 20s, part 2. What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about women, don't waste your 20s. Many women have been lied to by older women, by their aunties, by their girlfriends, for sure, that they are too young to get married. And in the first video, I went in depth, in very, very detailed depth, as to a female doctor who was on a very well-known talk show that was telling women that the prime years to have a child, which is also the prime years to get married, is from 18 to 27 years old. That's from 18 to 27 years old. If you haven't looked at part 1, you need to go back and look at part 1. I go into more detail as what this female doctor was telling ladies, which was basically you should be having children between the ages of 18 and 27, because after 27 your body starts going downhill. And also women at 35 years old by many medical institutions are considered a high risk pregnancy at 35 years old. So if you haven't seen that video, you need to go to part 1 of Women Don't Waste Your 20s, and also fair use. This video, along with other videos, is for educational purposes. All right. Now, one of the things I like to say is that, like I said, many women have been brainwashed that you're 20 years old and you're too young to get married. I just met a woman not too long ago. She was 18 years old, 18, and she had been married for 4 years to her husband, and she loves her husband. She loves the son that she had for her husband. She's so proud of her son. She's so proud of her family. She was about, I think she was about 22 years old. This woman had been married for about 4 years, okay? So you are not too young to get married, okay? Don't listen to that brainwashing technique, because that brainwashing technique is to encourage you to be in the street like a lot of older women who were before you. This could be your aunties, this could be your girlfriends. Girl, we need to go out here and have fun. Well, going out there and having fun and trying to screw around with half the city is going to do nothing for you except for to give you plenty of STDs, plenty of diseases, and plenty of heartbreak. And it's going to make you, your high body count is going to put you in a situation where it's going to be very, very difficult for you to bond to your husband. Very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for you to bond to your husband. I remember 2 different women that I seen that were getting interviewed. One woman was married to a minister in the church. They were interviewing this woman. She had just got married to her husband. The husband was the wife of this husband. They were interviewing her, and she was like, yeah, I've been married, and it's been pretty hard. It's been kind of difficult. Well, basically what she was saying in a nutshell was when she was in the street and she was sleeping with this guy and sleeping with that other guy and sleeping with somebody else, she got her body used to screwing around with numerous men. Do you hear what I'm saying? She got her body used to screwing around with numerous men. And so now she been through a bunch of men, and now she's with this one man, and she's having a very, very difficult time making adjustments being with only one man. And you don't want this to be you. There was a second woman that was being interviewed, and they were asking this woman about marriage. And the woman almost was having a panic attack. She said she couldn't imagine being with only one man. She was like, I can't imagine being with just one man. Be the same person all the time. See, this is what happens when you went out there and you've been screwing around with 2 or 3 people or more people throughout the week. And some people, I know one particular lady, she had been screwing around with 4 or 5 different men and got pregnant and didn't know who out of the 4 or 5 men she was screwing around with was the father of her child. Literally, this woman was screwing around with 4 or 5 different men. And when she took all of these men to get DNA tests, and of course every man thought that this woman was their woman, but they found out when they got the DNA test back, which is documentation showing, oh, this kid is not yours. So now the man knows that the woman had been screwing around on him. So of course they kicked her to the curb. You don't want this to be you. One of the things, the main reason why you don't want to waste your 20s, because the time that you're supposed to have a child, the opportune time, the prime years for you to get married and to have a child is from 18 to 27. All right? Remember this. Remember this. This is the time period that you're supposed to be getting married in. Okay? So when you waste your 20s, you probably came in contact with your husband or husbands that you probably at least a half dozen men that would have married you, would have loved you, and would have wanted to build a family with you. But since you were brainwashed to think that you were too young to get married by your aunties, by your mothers, by your girlfriends for sure, since you were brainwashed that you're too young to get married, you missed out on your husband because you're like, oh no, the programming is telling me that I'm too young to get married. And so the guy that wants to get to know you, the guy that may want to possibly marry you, you put him off to the curb. You kicked him to the curb. You may have met your husband numerous times. You may have met husbands, numerous men that would have been excellent to you as a husband. But you kicked them to the curb because you went submitted to the programming in your mind that you were too young to get married. And you need to go out there and have fun. Now, what I want you to do is sit down and think about the older women that told you this, and I want you to think about how are their lives going now. Some of these women are in their 40s, some are in their 50s, some are in their 60s, especially the real older ones. How is that advice going to work? How is that advice working for them? Now, they had the opportunity to get out there and run the street and have fun and everything, and they waste their 20s, they waste their 30s, and they don't have a husband. They not only don't have a husband, they don't have a boyfriend, many of them. Okay? So they don't have nobody specifically designated to watch and protect them. See, when you miss out on your husband, you miss out on your retirement plan, your current retirement plan, and future retirement plan. There are thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of women right now that's in the process of being evicted, that's in the process of being homeless. Do you know why they're in the process of being homeless? Many times it's because they were out there in the street. Many times they were out there in the street instead of preparing themselves for their husbands, getting married, and being safe and secure with their husband, who now protects them physically and protects them spiritually. You cannot, another thing about wasting your 20s is this. I just read an article the other day that was talking about Gen Z. And I'm going to tell you from personal experience from a lot of people that I've seen that's from the Gen Z, the Generation Z crowd. A lot of those people look horrible. A lot of those people look horrible. They look older than what they're supposed to look like. Many men, many women look older than they are supposed to look like. Many of these people are out there smoking weed, getting high, trying to screw around with everybody and their mama, trying to screw around with everybody and their daddy, trying to party and drinking, drugging it up, all these different things, which is going to shorten your lifespan. And if you look in the Bible clearly states there are certain things that you can do to expand your lifespan, and there's certain things that you can do to reduce your lifespan. Okay? And if you are out there doing these things which I just mentioned, you are shortening your lifespan. You are aging faster than what you are supposed to be aging. When you get out there and you decide, I'm going to screw around with everybody. One particular doctor was stating that women were coming to his office with multiple transmitted diseases. That means a woman coming to his office that may have chlamydia, they may have gonorrhea, and they may have HIV. Or a woman coming to the office who is seeing the doctor, and the woman has chlamydia. She may have blue waffles. Yeah, go check out blue waffles. Google blue waffles and look at the pictures of what blue waffles are. And this is what you can get even with a guy wearing a condom on. You could be a woman that's got blue waffles, have chlamydia, and may have herpes all at the same time. Multiple transmitted diseases. May have had multiple abortions. I know a woman right now. She was in a particular lifestyle. I know a woman right now, she was in this particular lifestyle. I don't think this woman made it to 35. Do you hear what I am saying? I do not think that this woman made it to 35. There was a woman that used to work at one of the locations where I worked at, another job that I worked at. And I came in one day and I looked on the bulletin board and I see this, what do you call those things when somebody's having a funeral? The little pamphlet for this woman's funeral. So I'm like, is this the woman that worked back in the tool stores? And the guy was like, yeah, that's her. I'm like, she's dead? The guy was like, yeah, she's dead. Dead, the woman looked like she was about 35 years old. Dead. Do you hear me? Generation Z which is probably you all. Generation Z is not expected to outlive their parents because of all the crazy lifestyles that they are doing. Once again, if you look in the Bible tells you specifically there's things that you can do to shorten your life and the things that you can do to lengthen your life. What do I mean by that? Every person can get to at least 70 years old. Every person can get to at least 70 years old. But your lifestyle can shorten your life to where you don't even get to 50. You don't even get to 40. I just told you about a lady who didn't even make it to 35. This is real serious. The article was stating that many of these Generation Z people, due to all the crazy things that they're doing in their life, their parents are expecting their parents to bury their kids. This is going to be one of the few generations that many people are expecting their parents to bury the kids. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be the kids that bury their parents, not the parents burying their children. Okay? That's crazy. Okay? Very, very crazy. And like I said before, this doctor was stating that numerous women and men are coming to his office with multiple transmitted diseases. Okay? Very, very important that you do not waste your 20s, because you probably met your husband or people that would have qualified to be good husbands for you at least a half dozen or more times. And you pushed your husbands away. People that would have protected you, people that would have honored you, people that would have loved you, okay? But you pushed them away. All because of programming in your head that you were too young to get married. So you didn't want to be serious, even when the guy wanted to be serious and possibly was looking at you as a wife. Now, having said all of that, a lot of these women that are in the process, these hundreds of thousands of women that are in the process of being evicted and now be in the process of being homeless, if these women were married, they would have their retirement plan, because a husband would have been their current retirement plan and also their future retirement plan. Those women that are married, they don't have nothing to worry about in most cases. They don't have anything to worry about in most cases if they have their husband. So, anyway, this is part 2 of Women Don't Waste Your 20s. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please subscribe, because this channel exists to, number 1, show you how to start your own business. Number 2, show you how to run your own business. Number 3, how to save yourself a bunch of money. And number 4, show you how to have successful relationships, which is part of what I'm talking about today. All right. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and peace.